Hello, good people. I'm Emmasings, aka Jubilation Prophet, aka Sugudu Dogudu. I'm a performing artist, a recording artist, a music minister, a singer, a writer, a musician. And I believe every music minister should be pastored, so I attend Dunamis International Gospel Center, where I also function as a praise and worship leader under the tutelage of Dr Paul Enneche and Dr Mrs. Becky Enneche. I'm here to tell you about my Abujawaka story. You are so good to me. So before I tell you about my Abujawaka, you need to know who I really am, all right? I am one called Emmanuel, aka Emmasings. I'm a native of Abia and Anambra. Yes, people will say which one in particular. I'm from both. In short, if you leave me, I'll tell you I'm from Zion. All right. So I'm a graduate of linguistics, Delta State University. I'm a recording artist. I'm a performing artist. I'm a writer. I'm a singer. I'm a musician. I've been in Abuja for 22 years now. Can you beat that? 22 years. Yes. I came into Abuja in 1999 as a young lad with my mother and my sister. My mom was transferred to Abuja, so the children had to join her and be in Abuja. So that's how we came to Abuja. When we first moved into Abuja, the first place we stayed in was Kubwa, Phase 2, Site 1, if I remember. And for my Kubwa people, if you remember, Cupid Hotel, Cupid Restaurant, all right? For those of you who can remember that, that's where I started life from. As a young lad, we moved into Abuja. When we came into Abuja, most of the lands were not occupied like you see now. So I can remember my house had like a building sharing fence with it. Yes, and before that building, there was no house there, just land, deserted land. Then opposite our house too was a deserted land, So then I used to ask my mom, why is Abuja so scanty? I came in from Lagos, Ajegunle to be precise, Ajegunle boy. So we moved into Abuja, and knowing that Lagos is rowdy, so much fun, all of the, moving to Abuja was so quiet. In the morning you wake up, you show my mother, left with my mother, you shouldn't even relate much with the neighbors. So it was so different for me. It was so boring. I had to start looking for how to make friends. I remember jumping the fence to look for a neighbor to just play football with or just do something. I wanted to feel like a Lagos boy in Abuja, but you can't be a Lagos boy in Abuja. You have to mellow. The only way you can be a Lagos boy in Abuja is street smartness. But beyond that, Abuja is not like Lagos. Even though Abuja is changing now, a lot of places being occupied, road is busy. I remember this last Christmas, I was wondering if this is the Abuja that I used to really know, because way back in Abuja, during Christmas, the road is scantier than normal. Where 5 cars used to pass, it could be 1 car or 2, and it would be so lonely that you'll be like, who's chasing me? Are you sure nobody's behind me? That's how Abuja was. But now, many of you that are enjoying Abuja, you feel Abuja is the new city with all of the fun and what you see. But when we came to Abuja was not like this. And if you ask people who were in Abuja like 91, they will tell you even more stories. So this is not my story. Okay, how I rented my first apartment in Abuja. Wow, I like that. Okay, I was living in a compound with guys who were like 13 in a 2-bedroom flat, squeezing ourselves in to sleep and get ourselves. And for some reason, because that was an official apartment, we needed to evict. We were evicted from the apartment, so, and I was not in town then, I remember. So I came back to Abuja and found out that my things were already out of the house. And I remember I even lost my certificate there. I can't forget that story. So I had to get an apartment immediately. So I contacted. When you hear Abuja houses are expensive, you may not know till you go yourself to find out how the rent can be. So all the places I wanted to live in were really expensive, were far above my pay grade. So I had to get a place in Dunamis village, right? If you know Abuja, Dunamis village. I think mine was Dunamis Phase 1, behind the Living Faith Church there. So I got a house, and for the amount I was paying, when they told me the amount, I said, okay, this must be the biggest boy side of that Dunamis. So I went to the house. What's happening here? What kind of house is this? Very small house. In short, the wall itself was not peeling, it was pouring sand. If you rest your head on the wall, sand will pour. In short, then when I painted the house, because I didn't have money to do anything. So when I painted the house, I remember that every morning I used to wake up blue. My hair would be blue because we painted the house blue. So the paint was not good enough. So I wake up and I have blue hair. So I always dusted my hair every morning. I remember that experience. The house was small. And yeah, we didn't have, I think my part was kind of the big boys part because we even had water running in the house. Yes, we had water running in the house. But the water will run for 1 week. Then you have to do Miruwa for 3 days. There's always a problem because the environment was not used to having water in the house. So, but since ours we were always having issues. And yeah, we had issues with paying light bill. I remember there was I think an outstanding bill before I came in. So if you are paying 2,000 this month, next month can be like 5K, 6K. I wonder where it's coming from. And we were all quarreling every time I wanted to pay the bill, I was always forming big boy. I would just pay. But this particular bill they brought, I told them I'm not stupid, that we must analyze this bill, even if we have to go to NEPA office. So these are some of the things you face, when you stay in an Abuja apartment. So I stayed in that house for 2 years. I remember not wanting to renew the rent, but I didn't have enough money, so I didn't have a choice but to stay there again. This not my story. So yes, Abuja and Lagos, they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Abuja, I don't think any state in Nigeria can beat Abuja when it comes to road network. The road network is awesome. Beautiful roads almost everywhere. All right, Abuja is Abuja. There's some parts of Abuja that are not Abuja. So in case you want to mention some places in your mind, I won't mention. That place I mentioned is not Abuja. If it's Abuja, the roads are good. All right. So Abuja road network is awesome. It's lovely. Lagos road network, oh my God, it's not good. Honestly, it's not so good. But I know that of course Lagos has improved even much from when I was there. Yes, and number two, Abuja is actually getting crowded. If we're honest with ourselves, Abuja is getting crowded, but I'm not sure it can never be crowded like Lagos. I wonder how they breathe in Lagos. Even in your car with your AC, somebody may be sharing your air with you from outside. So it's something. But in Abuja, we breathe well, we sleep well, we don't have too much of demonic attack in Abuja, like Lagos, as it were. Then another thing about Lagos that I like, there are a lot of job opportunities in Lagos. Maybe because there are so many people, so many opportunities. Abuja, in terms of job opportunities, is not so much. An average graduate pay here has a certain amount, but in Lagos, you can walk your way through. There's a lot more of what we call hustling in Lagos. You can strive to be better in Lagos. Abuja has a way of possibly making you feel relaxed when you've gotten to one particular level, but Lagos doesn't do that. Lagos helps you keep thriving to be better because the hustle there is so much that you can't help but keep thinking and keep being innovative. That's Lagos and Abuja for you, and they all have their advantages. And some people really love the Lagos that we're saying is crowded. Another thing I noticed in both cities, that's not exclusive to Abuja or Lagos alone. We have some people that live fake lives. That's the truth. Fake lives, like so I'm saying, it's fake it till you make it. I don't really understand that one. We've met a couple of people who, they tell you where they are from. They'll tell you, my father this, my father that. You will not find out that you're even better than their father, that they're happy, And I have a lot of people who lie. Permit me to say they lie for a living in Abuja. They'll give you expectations of themselves that they are not. We have that in Abuja. We also have that in Lagos. So truth is that fake life is everywhere. Even beyond Abuja, Lagos, and many other cities, fake life is everywhere. But one thing I love about Abuja is Abuja leaves you open with so many opportunities. You move around town, you see beautiful houses. Abuja makes you believe that I can have this. Abuja makes you believe that I can become this thing. If these young guys, because I have a lot of young guys who are making it so well in Abuja. So Abuja makes you see yourself and you're like, if this guy that I know, because everybody in Abuja has his friend or a young guy that he used to know that was poor, that is now rich. An average person in Abuja has such a friend. So if your Abuja makes you see that if your friend could be doing this big, then you can do this big. So it keeps you aspiring. It keeps you growing. It keeps you getting better. That's one thing I love about Abuja. Lagos may be that way, but I'm not in Lagos anymore. So what I know about Abuja is that Abuja keeps you aspiring. I told somebody else that there are two places, or there's only one place I can live in Nigeria, and that's Abuja. Any place outside Abuja should be America or UK or Canada. Yeah. So Abuja or nothing else. Abuja, my Abuja.
This not my story.
So my career, yeah. I've always been a singer. I tell people who care to listen that I started singing at age 4. I remember the first time I ever sang in a Christian Pentecostal Mission, CPM Lagos, Apapa, Ajegule side of Apapa, you know. So I've always been singing. I knew I was going to sing somehow, but that was not actually who I wanted to be education-wise. I wanted to be a lawyer. And, you know, I used to hate intimidation and oppression. So I felt I would stand up for people, you know, speak for them and all of that. So the first school I went to, I remember I spent my first semester, and by second semester I was told I needed to leave the department because I didn't have maths. I was very terrible in maths, actually. Part of the reasons I wanted to be a lawyer instead of being a doctor. So on switching, I came in for law. So I was trying to meet up with a good GPA so that I could switch to law at my 200 level. Unfortunately, I was even told to change department because I didn't have maths. So I instead pulled out of the school and went to another school where I thought I could study law. But at the time, the law drive had dropped. So I ended up studying linguistics, you know. And then I remember when I was in school, I'm sorry to say this part, you know, for those of us studying English and linguistics, they always give you juicy promises that when you study linguistics, for those who study linguistics anyway, you're going to work in foreign affairs, ECOWAS, ambassador, you know, my brother, calm down, nothing like that, you know. So good for me at 200 level, I knew that all those things were cruise. So I just faced my music even when I was in school. So I would say I was doing more music than even my course when I was in school, for people who knew me at Delta State University. So I was always at events, programs, ministrations, just doing more of that. I believe that helped me. So I graduated. When I graduated, I came home. I came to Abuja, where I have always been resident, and I looked around. Okay, my first job was a movie. It was a movie that was being shot. A friend of mine, because when I graduated, I was very, very broke. I remember having only 4K in my account and wondering how 4K will last me till I get a job. So my friend called me and said they were shooting a movie. He was the data man for the movie, and he told me, he was a big boy then, he used to get like 2-3 movie jobs. So he said, okay, hold this job for me, handle this part, and told me what to do. And that's when I started. I started off with that movie. I had a couple of big names on that movie. So I was the data man for that particular movie. After then, that job lasted 2 weeks. And afterwards, I didn't have a job again. So I traveled to Delta State and from my clearance here. And I was told that there was an opening in Abuja for a Christian TV station. So I actually applied to be a presenter, being that I'm from a family where my mom studied mass comm. She's a lover of English, so she was always phonetic. So I learned to speak good English that time, you know. At that time, it is still the shackles. English, no money, no there. So eventually, I decided I applied to work with that Christian TV station as a presenter. So when I went for the interview, they listened to me speak and were like, okay, you speak well, but we actually are not in need of a presenter. We know you. Seeing you, we know you can do way more than even present it. So what can you do? I said, anything media, I know I can do, and I know I'm smart, I know I'm intelligent, I know I can catch up with any opportunity that I'm being given. So they said, okay, we're going to put you on a 1 to 2 months training on video editing. If you're good, you start up as our staff fully. So I said, oh, fine. And I learned video editing, I think, within 2 weeks. And I started off with a couple of programs and I began to edit. And I worked there for about 5 years. Yeah, as a video editor. And when it was time to leave, I knew, by the help of the Holy Spirit, I knew it was time to leave, and it was time to move on to other things. And at that point, while I still worked there, I still built my music, I built my singing to a great extent. So when I resigned to be a full-time gospel artist, you know, but some people will call it freelance. So, but yeah, I resigned to be a full-time gospel artist. I've always been a minister. I tell people I'm a minister. And for the longest time, what we call worship, because sometimes what we call worship is not actually worship. If a song is slow, they say it's worship, and if it's fast, it's praise. It's not necessarily that. It's in the content of the song, actually. So I was doing more of what we call worship. And along the line, I had friends and family tell me, you praise a lot too. And I was like, I didn't want to project the praise part of me. Why? We have this impression that when you sing worship, you are more spiritual. For those of us that are church people, and when you sing praise, you may be a carnal guy. But in the presence of God, there's fullness of joy. Wherever joy is, there God is there.
This not my story.
I'm a Christian, so I will say this: if God did not send you to Abuja, don't come more. Don't try it. I'm telling you, Abuja is expensive. Right? Abuja is expensive. If you want to come to Abuja, carry your money, come. Oh, better bar. Like, whatever you would have rented a house for in Lagos, carry times 3 or 4 when you're coming to Abuja, because accommodation in Abuja is expensive. Transportation in Abuja is fair. It's fair. Even food in Abuja, fair. What again? What are the major things we need? Social amenities, fair. We see transportation will cover the money for all these things that I've mentioned after transportation. So I advise you, if you're coming to Abuja, prepare well. In short, you can use like 2 years to prepare before you come to Abuja, because Abuja is not what some people out there have made you feel. If you come, one hand. Maybe so. Of course, God can shine on you, mercy can shine on you. But I know that in Abuja, you have to be smart, like you are in Lagos or many other places in Nigeria, but accommodation is expensive. So please prepare yourself when you are coming to Abuja. So this is my little Abuja story. I hope you've learned from it. I hope you are motivated. Above all, keep being hardworking. If you're hardworking in Abuja, to pay off. Stay diligent, stay consistent, and to pay off for you in Abuja. Subscribe to Abujawaka. Click on that button, Abujawaka. It's your boy Emmasings.